Okay, so this is the section number 3, complex numbers. Well, one thing about complex numbers, we have two important points about complex numbers instead. So that's the first one is the general form of a complex number that is a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers. And then we have to know that I is the only number that when you square it, that you get a negative one. You get a negative number. That's the only number, and that's what makes it complex, because a complex, any number, any real number, when you square it, the result is positive. But its square is negative one. That makes I equals the square root of negative one. So we have those two important properties that we need to keep in mind as we're going to work on with complex numbers. So it says perform the indicated operation and simplify. Hint, um, a simplified complex number is given in the form of a plus bi. We talked about a plus bi already. Well, basically, if you're adding two complex numbers, if I have a complex number a1 plus b1i that I'm adding with a2 plus b2i, well, the sum will be the a1 plus a2 plus b1 plus b2 I. But obviously we need to simplify, and that's it. So if we call this one A1 and this is B1, A2 and B2, we're gonna have -3 plus 19 plus 17 plus 17 plus 20 equals obviously I, because the second term has an I. And then so we're gonna just combine our terms. So that is 16 plus 37i. 16 plus 37. And the next one is subtraction, same thing. So if I have a1 plus b1i minus a2 plus b2i, that will be a1 minus a2 plus b1 minus b2i. So in this case, if we call this one a1, b1, a2, b2, then we get something like -3 minus 19 plus 17 minus 20i equals -22 minus 3i. Is it -22? It's -22. Yes, -22. -22 minus 3i. Okay, so next, we also talk about the conjugate of a complex numbers. You can refer to the notes that I posted in in Blackboard. You can refer to the note that I posted in Blackboard to see the notes, but I think I'm gonna put them right here for you to be able to see them as well. So this is the note about the conjugate. The conjugate of a two-term expression is formed by the conjugate of a two-term expression is formed by switching the sign between the two terms. Example, if I have a plus b, the conjugate is a minus b. If I have a negative a plus b, the conjugate is negative a minus b. You switch the sign between the two terms. So why are we talking about conjugate when it comes to dividing two complex numbers? Well, you need to multiply both top and bottom by the conjugate. Whenever you're dividing two complex numbers, that's how you perform the division of two complex numbers, is multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. So to perform this, we multiply both top and bottom by the conjugate, both complex numbers on numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the complex number in denominator. Now, complex number in denominator is 4 minus 6i. So conjugate of 4 minus 6i is 4 plus 6i. Now we're going to multiply top and bottom of this complex 4 minus 6i by, we're going to multiply top numerator and denominator by the conjugate of 4 minus 6i. So this becomes okay. And then we perform the algebra with this. So that is 22 times 4, 88. 22 times negative 6, negative 132. 6 times 4, 24, plus 24i. Well, negative, that's negative 132i. And then last, we got plus 36i squared. And we will not forget the property we talked about up here, over here, that I squared equals negative 1. Whenever you have I squared, you need to remember that is negative 1. And also we need to remind you of a property that you can use here. That's plus here, because we multiply by the conjugate, that 4 plus 6i. We should multiply by 4 plus 6i, which makes this positive. This is positive. Everything is plus because it's all plus. Over here, if we call this one a minus b times a plus b, that is the difference of squares. That is the difference of squares. That is a squared minus b squared. So in denominator, we can apply the difference of squares to have a quicker answer. So that's 4 squared, 16 minus 36 I squared. So that is denominator will be 16 minus plus 36, because I squared equals -1. -1 times -1 is +1. So we have a positive. So that's 36 times -1, -36 times -1 is +36. And on top, we have 88 plus 88, and that's going to be minus 36, because it's plus 36 with the -1 I squared is -1, so that's -36. So 88 minus 36, that's 50, that's 52, plus 132 plus 24, 156. And then now we have that is equal to 52 plus 156. That's 208. Actually, no, that's 156I. So we can add them. So 16 plus 36, 52. So that equals 52 plus 156I over 52. So the final answer here is 1 plus 3I. When you simplify, 52 divided by 52 is 1. 156 divided by 52 is 3. So your answer here is 1 plus 3I. So basically, if you recap, you find the conjugate of the denominator, you multiply top and bottom by this conjugate, and then you simplify. Now, how do we multiply? How do we multiply two complex? Well, we did multiplication actually in the first problem, the previous problem. When we were multiplying top and bottom by it. So multiplication should not be a problem. So here we have 11 plus 13I times 9 plus 11I equals 11 times 9 is 99. 11 times 11 is plus 121I. 11 times 11I. 9 times 13 is 117 plus 117, 117I. And then 13 times 11 is plus 143I squared. I squared equals -1. So then that's 99 minus 143 plus 121 plus 117 is 238I. And then finally, well, we can do it here. 99 minus 143 is -44. negative 44. So the answer is negative 44 plus 238i. So that was it for the third lesson of chapter 2.